Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Richie from Boston. It's the 27th of August, 2025. Isn't it crazy that it's the 27th of August, 2025? Because 10 minutes ago, it was the 4th of July. Half an hour ago, it was the 1st of January. Remember when Elon's car exploded in front of Trump Towers on the first day of the year? And owning the weather by 2025, suddenly the very first day of the year and all the way up till now, we've seen weather like we've never seen before. But it's just a conspiracy theory. The fact that you can literally Google owning the weather by 2025 and listen to these guys and read their own paperwork by the United States Air Force and DARPA and whomever, you know what I mean? But let's just keep it easy. It's astonishing to me that people still don't get it, don't seem to care, don't. Somebody just said that New World Order will not prevail. The New World Order is here. The New World Order is doing exactly what the New World Order needs to do. Do you see what I'm saying? And people don't seem to catch it. And whenever they seem to be catching on, they change the narrative. They flip the channel. Easy peasy. So I apologize for not putting any videos up, but I have been out in the woods, off grid, and man, was I dirty. I took a shower. I got a hotel room for 2 days, so I'm good to go. I'm showering. I just put up a video on Jailbreak, which is very cool because I ran into a grizzly bear. But the day before I ran into a grizzly bear, I ran into a bear and two other bears. So I'm still here. It's astonishing to me that with not even a super duper zoom lens, I'm literally focusing right in on the bear's eyelashes. It is a trip that I made it out of there. The only reason I can get away with it, I believe, is because I smelled so bad. I just smelled like decaying matter, and the berries they were eating or the bees they were eating or whatever were better. I don't know what else to say. So there it is. Funny you say that, Anna. Funny you say that. Anna runs the Richie from Boston fan page, which is getting some pretty decent motion, man. I mean, the channel does better than my channel does. So I'm glad. I appreciate it. I visited everybody that I was supposed to on the West Coast. So I'm heading to the East Coast, which I'm actually in the middle of the country right now because I stay moving. If I'm supposed to hit you up, do what I said. Shoot me an email, rjcjr10@yahoo.com, and just send me a screenshot of your donation on the GoFundMe. Okay? Do me that favor. I starred everybody, but that was like 2 months ago. A lot has happened. A lot has happened. My life is a very hectic place. So hit me up so I make sure I come see you. I know there's a bunch of you guys down in Florida. Florida always scares me, but at least September, October, I can do Florida, I think, for the most part. You think so? I thought it was pretty cool, right? What did you think about my lunch break? I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Sorry. Get ready for everything shortages, dude. Get ready for everything because the tariffs haven't even hit yet. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I may have missed you if you passed through Arizona. Yeah, I'm not saying I won't be back. You know what I mean? But everything has been so crazy. Losing your wallet on the West Coast when you're from the East Coast has so many ramifications, I discovered. Well, do you have ID? I lost my ID. Well, okay. Do you have any ID? I lost my ID. Yeah, it was. And then you got to sit and deal with people face to face because the phone won't work. You know what I'm saying? It's just things suck. That's all. It is what it is. But I'm getting it squared away. I don't know what that means. This. I don't know what that means. Lunch break channel. I don't know what that even means. Eating a roast beef, watching you talk. Cool. Cool. Maybe. At any rate, rjcjr10@yahoo.com. I give my email out all the time. Please don't send me YouTube videos or videos of clouds that look like the TR3B, but they're just clouds, stuff like that. When you're checking your email from the front seat of your truck on a phone. I want to get to the people that actually need something. Somebody, people that, a lot of people need help. It's a crazy thing, and I do what I can, mostly to my own detriment, but whatever. Martial law is actually spelled with a T, unlike Richie. Richie does not have a T. Martial law does. Martial. Martial law is actually encompassing everybody right now, and they're trumpeting it as fighting crime. We're going to get to that. Actually, I think it's one of the first things. So, all right, Seth. I see you, Seth. I see you promoting your channel. Don't know who you are. Never saw you in the chat before, but I see you. That's great. The 𝗦𝗵𝗿𝗀𝗀𝗱 mud doesn't do anything for. We're in endgame right now. So sitting around reading about stuff like that is just simply a luxury. You know what I mean? We have things that are happening right now, every single day, twice a day, 30 times a week. If I sat here and made videos on every single thing that happens, I'd never leave the house. And sadly, I'm not at my house. So you see where I'm at? So 𝗦𝗃𝗃𝗀𝗃𝗃, it's if that's what, if you, whatever. Okay. You're not, but every time, all I'm seeing is you're not promoting it. All right. Yep. We're not in a little season. I already went over that, but whatever. Yeah. Got ya. Was he really? That's good. Scariest movie ever. That's good. Maybe I'll stop by his house because I'm in his town. Bet he didn't know that when he was talking shit the other day. Whatever. At any rate. All right, let's get to this. How's my truck doing? I'll show you because this is just redunculous, man. Check this out. It's not even 2 weeks. Not even 2,000 miles. And the brand new boot has already torn wide open. I cannot believe this, dude. I'm right outside Yellowstone Park, and I have no clue where I can go to, first of all, have them ship new boots and for me to repair them. This is... See, I'm going to cut that off before I maybe said a swear. I don't think I did. But, yeah, Daryl. The new boot that took me all day, I had to go to Upland, which is right outside Los Angeles, to replace it. And I didn't even make it to Wyoming before it tore again, which is just phenomenal. Absolutely, utterly phenomenal, man. So what that means is that boot is torn open. It's like the boot is like having, how about this? For those that don't know, pretend you got a really big wound and you put a Band-Aid on it. That's what the boot is. If you take the Band-Aid off and then you go do things, you get dirt, dust, things and such in it. Same thing with my axle. So, I forgot that's the only bad thing about the comments is I forget that I even put them up there. Nice. Wyoming's badass. I ran into a grizzly bear, which was just crazy, dude. Crazy. And I'll tell you what, I was scared. But I held my ground because I ain't outrunning them. There ain't no two ways about it. I don't know a lot of things. I ain't afraid of many things. But a grizzly, yeah, they smack you around and, rip large chunks off. I know what it feels like to be missing large chunks of flesh while you're still conscious. I didn't want to go down that route, but I didn't even think in a million years I'd see a grizzly that close to me, dude. And the day before, I was even closer to either a brown bear or a black bear. The video, actually, it's right here. You tell me, because I don't know. Listen, right here. This old girl. That's her. I ran into a mama bear and her cubs, and they were awesome. And they were just chilling. Every once in a while, she'd stand up and look straight at me, and I would turn away. I didn't want to make eye contact. But I mean, I got all sorts of footage. It was phenomenal. And then the following day, you'd think wandering way out into the woods, setting up a camera where allegedly it's a good spot to find Bigfoots, I find a grizzly instead. What is this? Oh, Jailbreak. Oh, just FYI for the people that don't know, the only YouTube channel that I've ever had that's been monetized ever is Jailbreak. Ever. And it doesn't get any motion because I was stupid enough to actually put videos on it that show the truth. And they don't dig that. You know what I mean? They don't dig that. I did. I do. Gorilla tape. I carry also. I got it. Half of my skid plates on my truck are held on with zip ties right now. So I got it. It's all good. Black bears, brown bears are black bears. All right. That's not what black bears and brown bears are drastically different, much, much larger, but I don't know where Athens County, Georgia. I don't know. I just came through Northern California, fixed my boot, Oregon, Washington. I had to see a subscriber. I stopped at her house and she wasn't home. So I backtracked and came all the way back and actually sat down and visited with her. And this woman literally hand makes Bigfoot teddy bears, except they're 6 feet tall, 110 pounds, and look exactly like Bigfoot. And she hand makes them. I will be putting those in a video because if you want one, you can get one. They're badass. She was going to give it to me. And I'm like, I brought her out to my truck and I'm like, dude, this thing is the size of me. Literally. I don't have my truck, there's no back seats. The passenger seat in my truck, I think one person's ever sat in it. I don't know. I don't play well with others. So, but I have no room for that stuff. But at any rate, I try. John, no, they're performance. They're performance, dude. They're high performance. They're not high endurance. This one tearing in less than 2,000 miles is an anomaly. Maybe I've had it. I mean, I've been holding on to it for a while. They gave me a new boot last time, a black one, not the fancy orange one. And the black one lasted 40,000 miles. So that's what I need to get at any rate. Any thoughts on Robin Westman trans school shooter today? I'll get to that. I'm not deep in it, dude. I'm not deep in it. I've only been here. It's 7 o'clock. I got here at 3. I showered. I set everything up, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? And then I started pulling everything up. I've got 27 tabs open and StreamYard wouldn't run because I run this on a separate platform that I pay to use. So I didn't really have too much time to set up and to research that. But I do find it strange. Convert to manual locking hubs. That doesn't make any sense I converted my Land Cruiser to manual hubs. It did absolutely nothing. No better gas mileage, no nothing. All right, let's get to this because I'm yammering too long. I haven't seen you guys. I missed you. I'm so glad you're here. You know what I mean? You don't have it, Richie, your life, it's amazing. 57, pushing 58 in like 2 months, which will be like 6 minutes from now. It'll be November or it'll be over. I sleep on top of my truck. It's already getting really cold at night, especially up in the altitudes. And I don't really talk to anybody. You know what I mean? Hey, nice truck. Yep, thank you. I'm not a big conversationalist. And I don't run around telling people Palantir and chemtrails. Like they're talking about chemtrailing right now. Like it's always been known, like it's no big deal. And people still do not get it whatsoever at all. You're wondering why all of a sudden all sorts of animals are growing tentacles and growing horns and zombie spiders and zombie deer and all that, because they're dumping all sorts of crazy stuff in the sky. It's affecting the animals first for whatever reason, because eating the grass, eating anything natural, growing on the ground, growing in trees like animals have been doing for time immemorial. Everything has been voluntarily covered with Monsanto by humans. So they don't have to bend over and pick up those pesky dandelions, even though dandelions are actually beneficial to everybody involved. But where I'm from, dandelions cover the entire lawn with Monsanto. And now, fortunately, thanks to our government, because Trump's here to make America great again, make America healthy again, nobody can sue Monsanto for anything at all, ever. Period. Because, you know, America. And people are still buying the bull stuffing. All right. Check this out. I find this odd. On the church shooting, I find this odd that this was from yesterday. All right. A wave of active shooter hoaxes at universities bring panic and turmoil to the start of the school year. Yeah, look at the panic. You see the panic? That's, you know, it's very dramatic. They're showing you so you know. A terrifying text message sent students running for cover, barricading themselves, knocking over chairs. See the picture? So you can tell they're not lying, because they said they're knocking over chairs, and then you can see chairs are knocked over. Very dramatic, because somebody is hoaxing it. Well, do you guys remember when this didn't exist? You remember when this wasn't even a thing? The first time we ever saw anything like this, a year before Sandy Hook, there was a forum, and everybody was showing everybody. It was out there. You could see it wherever you wanted to, blah, blah, blah. And it was talking about Obama spearheading a CIA operation or something like that. I don't remember the terminology. Long story short, Obama was going to stage a shooting and kill a bunch of children, something that was unheard of. We had never seen that before. And then it happened, and then you couldn't find that information. Some of you guys probably still have that saved someplace, just like the Epstein list everybody's looking for. We all saw it 10, 12 years ago. It's not a list. It's an address book with a bunch of people in it. You know what I mean? A bunch of really rich, powerful people that are in it. That's it. They're talking about it like it's some elusive thing. It was up on, what was the name of the website? Wankers or something? I forget what it was called, but it was out there. Same thing with this forum. This forum told us, or foreshadowed, a year before Sandy Hook, that Sandy Hook was going to happen, and then it did. And then all the 12 kids that passed away, even including that one poor kid, you remember that one whose father was suing everybody? He sued Nicholson 1968's private website provider and forced Nicholson to take down a picture of the child that died at Sandy Hook. The most, I mean, how upsetting as a parent must it be for your child to get shot and killed? And then a year later, that same child that got shot and killed gets stabbed and killed in a mass stabbing in Pakistan. I mean, that's the most unluckiest kid ever. I mean, my heart really goes out to that person. And instead of mourning, that person's father just spent all their time chasing down YouTubers and suing and suing and suing. Sued Alex Jones for billions of dollars, but that's no big deal, because in court, under oath, for everyone to see, Alex said, I'm an actor. I'm an actor. He meant to say I'm an operative, which he has said before, but I'm an actor. And what did he say about his subscribers, his followers? They were all schizophrenic or something like that. And people still follow him. And you're wondering why the New World Order is just marching in with hula hoops and sparklers and fireworks. No big deal, because nobody's paying attention. It's amazing to me. I said this a long time ago, and I got another monitor right there, and I can see myself wiggling around because it's like a time lapse or whatever. I find it comical. But years ago, I said they're just waiting for us to die. People like me and you. And turns out I was right, because they are. Because I'll tell you what, I can't outrun a grizzly bear. I could still throw down, but I can't outrun a grizzly bear, and that bums me out. I used to be able to, can't anymore. Is what it is. What are you going to do? But I find it really strange that the day before the shooting, a wave of swatting and active shooter hoaxes at universities bring panic, and then the next day, a real one happens. A real one. And this kid was a real he was a real asset to humanity, or just an asset. You know what I'm talking about. But let's listen to this real quick, shall we?
We're, of course, uncovering more about the background of the suspected shooter.
Senior investigative reporter Jennifer Merrily is digging into that from the newsroom. She joins us right now. Jen, what have you been able?
Does anyone notice that this guy looks like what is this right here? This guy looks like he doesn't look. He's staring at you like he's stuck. He looks like he's wearing a really cheesy Halloween costume or a disguise. It just freaks me out, man. We are living in such a comic world right now. If the end result wasn't literally getting people to voluntarily hand over their souls in their free will that God granted us through the blood of his son, Jesus Christ, who died for us, it would be comical. But it's not. It's not. You know what I mean? You still got people walking around listening to Q. Really, dude? You're listening to Q? Q ain't on? We exposed them back in 2015, 2016. I mean, are you absolutely kidding me? Q is perfect because they'll be saying, hey, the troops that Trump's putting on the ground, like Richie from Boston and many other channels told you years ago was going to happen and is now happening. Yeah. And then they're going to spread. See, they cripple the police with laws and whatever. They flood the country with drugs. They literally turn courtrooms into revolving doors and then say, well, crime is out of control. No, the government that's supposed to do what they're supposed to do with the money that we give them to do these things isn't doing it, hasn't been doing it, doesn't do it whatsoever at all. Now we got to bring in the troops. It's kind of like it's a plan, but you know what? I'll digress.
To find out.
Well, here's what we know. The suspected shooter is 23-year-old Robin Westman. We've confirmed there is a connection to Annunciation. We've learned Westman was a former student and graduate from the school in 2017. Now, the shooter's mom also previously worked there. So Westman would be aware of the layout of the school and familiar with the Wednesday welcome mass. We know Westman showed up at the school this morning dressed in all black, carrying 3 weapons, a shotgun, a rifle, and a pistol, and shot through the window into the church where kids and adults were in the pews. We've also
I love how all these people, remember Adam Lanza, big strapping kid who looked like a cartoon that you make while you're waiting for a drink at a bar on a napkin? Kid that didn't look real in any way whatsoever at all because he probably wasn't. Can't prove it, but I'm pretty sure he wasn't. They're always carrying 15 or 16 weapons, no problem. They're emptying magazines on people, no big deal. I mean, it's phenomenal. It's like these are either complete ultra high-end special forces operators or they're just completely made up. Because how are you juggling all those weapons and still successfully pulling off your end game? But I don't know. I'm just a conspiracy theorist. What do I know about anything ever at all?
also discovered a few videos Westman posted online that have now been taken down. This is a still image from one of those videos of what looks like a hand-drawn church and a knife. Now, the police chief mentioned they were timed to come out today, these posts. He also spoke about a manifesto. Some of those messages shared. So Westman said they were too tired of the pain this world gives out, and that they are not well and not right, and that they want to fulfill a final act that has been in the back of their head for years. Now, the shooter also apologized to their family in this note and said to pray for the victims and their families. It goes on, and I can tell you it is just chilling. This is also a picture of a gun that was posted in videos online. You can see writings on some of the ammunition and on that weapon. We are told when Robin was at Annunciation, they were called Robert. This is a graduation picture from 2017. In 2020, they changed their name to Robin. Now, we know that investigators traced the 3 guns found at the...
Okay, now I see. I didn't catch that earlier, Seth Black. I didn't realize it was a transgender. Of course it was. Oh, you got to, I mean, how many times have I said that these guys have gotten away with this so easily? They're just having fun with it now. You know what I mean? They threw a little everything in there. That's like a stew right there. You got Israel, you got Donald Trump, you've got BlackRock in there, you got transgenders in there, you got assault rifles. Assault rifles, the most dangerous thing in the world. If you have an assault rifle and you put it in your house, you better lock it up because it will attack you in the middle of the night. It isn't just a regular old rifle, just like any old other rifle. It has plastic pieces on it that are black and frightening to America. You see what I'm saying? Might sound like I'm joking, but I'm not. Maybe I am. I don't know. But isn't this ridiculous? This is supposed to change the channel. Oh, my bad. My bad. I mean, that's why he had 3 weapons, because he had to write all these secret messages on there. Israel, Trump, BlackRock, and Epstein. It's unbelievable to me. It's unbelievable to me. So Epstein's 𝗔𝘂𝗴𝘂𝘀𝘁 got convicted for being a sex offender, for literally trafficking and sexually assaulting children, which is, it's a bad dog. It's a bad dog. It bites, you put it down. All right. Putting it in jail just costs people money. Just put her on one of Elon's spaceships and send her to Mars, because she has no purpose here. But now Donald Trump she's speaking for him. He was a great guy, best guy I ever met in my entire life. She's a sex offender. She's been convicted of perjury. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth? So help me God, I do. Lies, perjury. That's a felony, and it's more time. She's been convicted of all of those things, and then they put her in a special, super awesome jail, which is I guarantee you, it's better than this hotel. This isn't actually a great hotel room, but whatever. It's better than your house. How's that? It's better than your house because you don't have to pay to be there. You can do whatever you want. You can exercise. You can play sports. You can hang out with other incredibly wealthy people. People don't seem to see. It blows me away. Hitting somebody with a stick is horrible, but stealing hundreds of thousands of people's mortgages, savings accounts, things of that nature, that's just fraud. Send them to the good jail. She was not eligible to go to that jail, and Trump will pardon her, which is astonishing to me, because if according to the DOJ, there was no list. There is a list. It's been out for 11 years. 11 years. I forget the name of the website. I know 40 of you guys know what it is. According to the government, nothing happened. Well, then release 𝗔𝘂𝗴𝘂𝘀𝘁, because she didn't do anything. If nothing happened, nothing happened. Nothing happened, but I'm in jail. Shh. We'll put you in a better jail and say nice things about Trump. You see what I'm saying? We just live in an absolute clown world. But the best part is, these guys are literally decimating our country right now. Really, really bad. AI is the worst thing that's ever going to hit humanity. I think it was here before. I've got a theory on it. If I don't forget, I'll get to it by the end of this live stream. But I'm a little amped up here. I'm a little amped up. But it's amazing that, one day they're talking about, holy cow, there's a wave of fake shootings going on. And then all of a sudden there's a real shooting, and this person ticks all the boxes. You got to ban transgenders, which they won't. They'll promote it somehow. Assault rifles, but they're not here to take our guns. They're not here to take our guns. They have technology. I've told you this before. And when I told you, people were like, oh, Richie's an idiot. Well, I am an idiot, but whatever. But I was also right. There's a lot of things in this earth I know about. People are home watching television, and you talk to other truthers, and everything relates to a movie. And it's like, yeah, I don't speak in movie analogies. I speak in real life analogies. I spend all my time listening to technological crap that I can't stand listening to, but we got no choice. I mean, I've been on this since I started my channel. You're pretty familiar with that, I would imagine, by now. But these data centers are an absolute trip, man. The AI is going to do so much incredible damage to the people that actually have no will and don't understand that the biggest trick the devil ever pulled was tricking everyone into believing he didn't exist. And I think that's exactly where we're at. They want your soul. They want your soul so bad. And people are making it so easy because they're giving everything up for clout. We've got truthers that literally self-censor themselves. The only reason you self-censor is because you're afraid you're going to lose monetization. Jailbreak is monetized. It's the only channel I ever had that was monetized. None of my other channels could be, period, ever, at all. These people are self-censoring, which is literally the social credit system on a smaller scale. They're getting you to act a certain way for money, period. Well, we ain't got time for that, man. Believe it or not, there's a lot of really smart. I mean, you guys are amazing. Amy, Marv's wife, I forgot your name. Dave Morgan, Delilah. I've met so many really smart, squared away people. And then some people are just, what they accuse us all of being. You see us, they see a light in the sky and they're like, it's aliens. The easiest thing on earth. I've seen so many truth channels making videos on the news shows there was a crazy, during a meteor storm where everybody that's into that stuff is already looking up, a strange light appeared. The easiest thing to fake in the world is a light in the sky. Are you kidding me, dude? Something lands, then we get something to talk about. But otherwise, it's astonishing how we're already being manipulated through things like monetization and clout. Two things that I'm pretty much immune to because I don't have it in me. I can't shut my effing mouth. I almost said it. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. I started this channel out on chemtrails a million years ago, and they called me crazy for years and years and years and years. And now it's literally mainstream. They're talking about it. They're talking about using sulfuric acid in the skies again. I told you when I think chemtrails start is way back in the 80s when some of us were still around. Remember acid rain? We had it for it seemed like 6 months or a year. It was eating the paint off people's cars. It was a problem. That's when they first started spraying the skies and they started using sulfuric acid and discovered we can't do this. This stuff, it doesn't stay up there long enough. It comes right down and does obvious damage that we can't explain away. It's amazing to me that people are even like, oh, acid rain. That seems to make sense. Yeah, you have oxygen and CO2 up in the sky and that turns into sulfuric acid. What are you, drunk? Oh, it's volcanoes. It's the Serengeti Desert in Africa that's somehow making, I don't know where it is, making its way over here. They're spraying the skies and they're talking about using sulfuric acid. If they do, that is just depopulation like we've never seen. You see in the animals mutating right now, according to Post, I ain't seen no rabbits, and I see a lot of wildlife because I do it on purpose because I'm actually where the wildlife is and not where the YouTube videos are. Does that make sense? And I'm not saying anything crazy. Everything I see, I film, and it all looks normal to me. But according to the mainstream, animals are mutating and rabbits are growing tentacles. I can see them mutating because they're poisoned from Monsanto because everything rabbits and anything that grazes eats is coated in chemicals, dude. And then they're spraying heavy metal in the sky. And they have been my entire YouTube career. Worst career. I suck at this career. But you see what I'm saying? At any rate, here's a funny thing. I think I saw that comment earlier. The birds are almost gone. I have been in areas where bears are sitting there eating berries like I'm in a cartoon, and they don't seem to care that I'm standing there. But I noticed a massive lack of birds. I got a video of a bald eagle. I've got a video of an osprey. Every night you hear a great horned owl, but you used to walk out in the woods. That's where the birds are at. Birds and trees kind of have a thing, like a symbiosis or whatever. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like photosynthesis? Yeah, they're gone. They're few and far between. Now, if you live in the Ozarks or Florida, there's still some places where there's lots of birds left, but for the most part, there ain't a lot of birds left. And the old windshield test, we'll call that the new litmus test. Stephanie, no. I don't have to clean my windshield anymore. When I drove my Land Cruiser, which was just 3 years ago, I had to do my windshield, and it sucked because I'm short and the Land Cruiser was tall. And I had a snorkel, so cleaning the windshield was a huge problem. I never have to clean my windshield because the bugs are almost gone. They're eradicating absolutely everything. So they've taken care of nature. Bill Gates has tricked everybody into thinking that photosynthesis is no longer trees sucking in CO2 and giving out oxygen, keeping the whole thing going. Now photosynthesis is cutting trees down, putting them into a wood chipper, and turning them into small blocks and carrying them away. Yeah. People don't seem to get this anymore. Now it's our turn, and they're doing it. These data centers, I didn't know these were going to show up because Trump never mentioned data centers one time when he was running for president. And the moment he became president, that's all he's talked about, and that's all that's going on. And the damage these things are doing already is an absolute, It's unreal, man. So let's look at this real quick, before I forget, so I can take it off the list. But yeah, this old trick right here, we told you this was coming, and this is exactly how it's rolling in. They're here to fight crime that we allowed to happen, that we paid to allow it to happen, that we flooded the country with people to do it and the drugs to get it done. They caused this entire downfall of this country, and this is the answer. Problem, reaction, solution. 𝗦𝗵𝗿𝗀𝗀𝗱 right here in your face.
Tonight, National Guard troops will be armed while patrolling the streets of Washington, D.C. A DOD
Armed walking the streets is, I've heard other people quacking about this, like they can't do that. It's against posse comitatus. Posse comitatus means you cannot use the military on the ground in America ever, period. But posse comitatus only matters. It only matters if somebody's actually following the Constitution. They're not. So get that through your head, because you're watching it live, man. They do not care about us. They're not like us. That sounds familiar?
official telling NBC News they're officially authorized for self-protection. It's a scene Chicago is hoping to avoid. Their mayor, Brandon Johnson, tonight pushing back on President Trump's threat to send the National Guard to more American cities.
We don't need cities across America occupied by our military. They don't have policing powers. They don't have arresting powers.
The president also suggesting on social media this morning, I will send in the troops to Baltimore after targeting New York and Chicago in the Oval Office Friday.
We'll go in and we'll straighten out Chicago, just like we did D.C.
Step by step, inch by inch, they're wrapping the net around the entire country, and people are actually cheering for this. It blows me away, man. It blows me away. I totally agree. I've been talking about this for years. They've been ready to do this for years, and now they're doing it. Now they're doing it because once they got in office, they were like, wow, everything the president literally, what's it called? What's it called when you're running for president? That's how in the loop I am. All the promises he made, not one single solitary one of them did he carry out. Instead, I can't stop saying this, he gave $500 billion to the richest 1% on earth right off the bat to build data centers that are literally destroying America already, man. You know what I mean? I mean, I've talked about this right here before, but this is a real thing. This is bad because they're making people homeless. You understand when those tariffs kick on, it's going to be overnight. You're not going to be able to afford anything whatsoever at all. And his executive order on homeless the unhoused. Yeah, all his rich friends are buying the houses and holding them. And if they want an area, they simply hit it with directed energy weapons brought to you by your sponsor, Boeing, and they burn them out, and then they buy up all the property. They're doing it right in front of everybody's faces, and nobody seems to care about it whatsoever at all. This is happening. Trump is the last president. They are here. We're watching this happening in real time, man. This is a trip. And people it's astonishing watching YouTube channels with 30 million subscribers. What good is all these subscribers self-censoring, being monetized, buying Bugattis when it's all going to get taken away? And the best part about that is you have zero integrity, which means you don't even know you have a soul because you believe the bullshit. We got people like myself and many others that have been warning you the longest time. When I started this, I never talked about God. Maybe I talked about God, but I didn't talk about God. After a couple of years, it all came right down, and it was flagrantly in your face obvious that this entire thing is a chess game between God and Satan, and our souls are that's the whole endgame right there. Do you know what I mean? It's the entire endgame. Why do you think I let a bunch of strangers in Louisiana that I don't know, first thing in the morning, put me in a blue dress and dunk me in a giant bucket of water, a big, whatever it's called, the baptism thing? Because I was that concerned. You know what I mean? Like, this is happening right now. And I guess people that are getting it, but So many aren't. And there's so many people. I mean, I prayed last night ad nauseum, barefoot, walking on grass, because I'm like, oh, look at this nice green grass. I'm not out in Wyoming. I'm not in Montana where it's all dry and bears everywhere. I'm walking on the grass and I'm praying to God, and I'm walking towards some sunflowers, and I'm thanking God for allowing me to actually see what remains of his creation, because I build things. To build this world the way he did out of pure mental horsepower, the word, is astonishing. But ironically, I'm praying to God and I'm saying, please, it seems like I'm losing the fire inside. And I'm saying, please help me to continue to heal myself mentally, physically, and spiritually. And as I'm praying and walking and talking, no one's looking. So, I mean, you don't pray in front of people. I'm barefoot. I'm walking on beautiful green grass. And all of a sudden there's a bunch of those goat heads, and I start walking on them. And I'm like, that's funny. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Everything's nice. There's flowers. And I start walking on thorns. So I knew God had a sense of humor. But at any rate, Jesus hasn't abandoned me. You should keep searching. I have no idea what that means. And I don't know you either. But whatever. Oh, no, dude. So bad. Revenge of the Nerds squared. It's insane. It's absolutely, utterly insane. These people are freaks, man. I never wanted to be in charge of people. When I was in the military, I went to the top. I was a leader. When I was in a gang, same. But I sucked at it. You know what I mean? I got too much empathy, apparently, which I don't know where I get it from, because I don't know where I get it, but I'm not going to argue with it. These people want ultimate power. They want ultimate power, and they've made the biggest, unbelievable deal in the world. How do you think all of a sudden, after the make-believe, you were warned about pandemic and shots and all the consequences that were coming with them? How did all of a sudden they drain all of the wealth from the people to them? And people are like, yeah, that's very unfortunate. Darn COVID. Jeez. Yeah, it's unbelievable, man. And then they've surrounded themselves with militaries and armies and all these other things. This is just insane. And now they're putting all the most evil people in your faces in power. Fink from Palantir and BlackRock are in charge of the World Economic Forum now. And then things start happening right off the bat. This is just insane, in your face, and people still don't understand that this is an amazingly huge conspiracy. It ain't a theory anymore. It was a theory. Now it's in action. It is rolling, man. It is absolutely, utterly rolling. But I guess I digress. Let me get back to this. So, yeah, it's now illegal to be homeless. I mean, I know that's not new news, but when the tariffs hit, people aren't going to be able to pay their bills, and they're going to end up homeless, which is now a crime. Are you shitting me? It's a crime? You're under arrest for being homeless. Yeah, that's why they're putting troops in towns. That's it. It ain't about crime. If they cared about crime, we wouldn't have crime. Because if they cared about crime, they wouldn't have made themselves multi-billionaires by flooding our country. Flood some other countries, man. I could accept it a little easier if our government allowed DuPont and the cartels to flood other countries, but they did it to us. And it still stands to this day. Everybody's on something because we're in a mental health crisis. We are in a mental health crisis. It's astonishing, man. We're in a mental health crisis because people are all retarded. It's unbelievable. Turn your television off and read what the people that are running things right now are telling you, because that's what we do. But that means you're wearing a tinfoil hat. Dude, I don't wear a tinfoil hat. I cut my own hair. I don't need a hat. I'm good. Excuse me. I got a lot to cover here, so bear with me. Yeah, hold on. See, the comments get me. See this? Christians will be imprisoned when they refuse their mark. Only if you're a fool. Don't let them take you. Do not let them take you. Do not let them put hands on you and put you in a box at all. because what they can do to a human being that they don't like remotely, where you can't see them, that'll affect you every single solitary day, is unbelievable. We did this to Iraqi soldiers. Iraq, first time the United States used chemtrails was in Iraq. We filled the skies with heavy metal and then juiced it. We had fundamentalist Muslims seeing God and then acting as such. We could make them do whatever they want. They were standing in the presence of God. It wasn't real, dude. That was 40 years ago. Imagine what they can do now. They will have you renouncing. Don't let them take you at all. At all. And that's why I travel, because I talk to people face to face, because you can't trust any of this stuff. You can't text somebody something. You can't text any of this. Some of us have put our necks out there so far. There is what it is. It is what it is. We're already on a list. But don't let them take you. Don't go to prison for the mark. I ain't doing that. That's not happening. There's other ways. The way things, figure it out. I can't say it on the thing. But here's the fun part. Speaking about homelessness and troops on the ground. Everybody in every state in the United States, electricity bills are going up twice as fast as inflation. And you know why? Because our power grid is a complete and utter pile of crap. But that doesn't matter, because all the power that we are making, the AI data centers are now sucking it up. And we're paying for it. So Trump gives $500 billion to these guys to build these data centers, even though they're the richest people on earth, flying around in their make-believe penis-shaped spaceships with Katy Perry in them. But we need to give them money so they can build these things. So you're giving them money to build these things, and then once they're building them, you have to pay for the electricity. But that's not all. There's more. We have to pay for the electricity, and then you also have to pay for the water. Now, the water is a different problem, because the water is already destroyed, absolutely destroyed. I will not. 5 years ago, I'd go to 13,000 feet, like in Colorado, and you could get water right out of the streams and drink it. I will not do that now. You can't go to Shasta. You can't go to any mountain in the United States. You can't drink out of any lake, stream, river, or brook. You can if you want, but you will be pooping water. And pooping water when you live outside is not a good thing to do. You know what I mean? Because it'll kill you, and it sucks, and it's gross. But other than that, the water is, these guys are building data centers in the middle of Arizona. They're building data centers in the middle of Texas. Arizona, Texas, with a filter, absolutely. I should have finished it. Yes, I filter everything. These guys are building data centers in Texas, in Abilene. They're building data centers in Arizona, in Nevada, where it's historically piping hot, kind of like the desert, Weird. They're building these machines that run incredibly hot, hell, because why? Who knows? But what they are doing is just sucking up all the resources right now. We're paying for it. So they're getting us again. And that's crippling people. People's bills are going up 33%. Dude shut down his house for an entire year. It's his second. He has 2 houses. Shuts down his house. He still gets a water bill for $2,000 because they're figuring you're not paying attention. I mean, the water is insane. It's a human right. And you've got the one-eyed freak from Nestle, and now you've got Fink from BlackRock working at World Economic Forum. And magically, all of a sudden, everybody starts writing about the unbelievable amounts of, they're not getting jobs. The data centers that there'll be hundreds of thousands of jobs. They're remote jobs. So if you live around a data center that's eating up all your water and destroying your electrical bill, etc., you ain't getting a job there, homie. That's all for the rich folk or other AI or whatever. You know what I mean? It's just an absolute, I got to say it. It's an absolute goat fuck. I don't know any other word for it. From every single solitary angle. And I apologize. Anna, I'm sorry. And others that would be upset. But listen to this dude. Does this make sense? Does this sound like something that's actually happening right now or has been happening for the last, 5 years?
You now make a point of that's an investment criteria for you.
Well, behaviors are going to have to change, and this is one thing we're asking companies. you have to force behaviors, and at BlackRock we are forcing behaviors. 54% of the behaviors, and you have to force behaviors, and at BlackRock we are forcing behaviors. 54% of the incoming class are women. We added 4 more points in terms of diverse employment this year, and what we are doing internally is, if you don't achieve these levels of impact, your compensation could be impacted. Okay,
We're doing the same thing.
and so it's just you have to force behaviors, and if you don't force behaviors, whether it's gender or race or just any way you want to say the composition of your team, you're going to be impacted. And that's not recruiting, it is development, as Ken said. And ultimately, it's still going to take time, but I am just as much shocked as Ken is that we have not seen more opportunities, and we're going to have to force change.
So the beautiful thing about Larry Fink is BlackRock has invested in everything. They basically own the military industrial complex. They own pretty much every government on earth. BlackRock ain't the very top, but they're right there. They have injected themselves into everything where they can cause every single company or corporation that they're invested in or dealing with their money in one way or another, they can force them to do whatever they want. And that's what's been going on. You know what? It's insane. It's insane. And this guy's now at the World Economic Forum. He replaces Klaus Schwab. I mean, it's like you just got to another level in the video game. I did play video games 40 years ago when I was a kid. He's the next bad guy. You know what I mean? Like, who's worse than Klaus Schwab? The guy wrote a book about it. He told the people everything they needed to know about exactly what we're doing. They put it on Amazon, which just made it super easy to buy and read, and nobody read it. I drove from Wyoming with that book in my hand and handed it to a family member, and he still didn't read it. But whatever. Can't say you didn't warn him, man. It's just insane. It's utterly insane to me, in my opinion. And if you were smart, get your money out of the bank, because they're taking your retirement. They're taking everything. You can be broke and wait around to say no to the mark of the beast, or you can have gold and silver like a lot of my subscribers that I've met have, because we don't know what's going to happen. If you're happy with them just stealing your retirement and everything out of your bank overnight, because that's how it will happen, have at it. If not, get gold and silver, or don't. Turn those ones and zeros into actual wealth that you have in your hand, in your control. Make them come and take it, or don't, at any rate. Moving on. I'm going for a long time, aren't I? Stand by. It's funny to watch the Associated Press posting things like this and people still don't get it. It affects people that, they don't, there's not a data center around here yet. Yeah, well, they're everywhere. I mean, look at these things. And I had this is just off the top of my head. This popped into my head one day whilst driving. I got a funny feeling these AI data centers have been here before, and Seth Black might want to look into this if that's your cup of tea. Because look at this. Hold on, right here. I'm fairly certain that these were AI data centers at one point, the pyramids. I really am. Because I looked into these for many, many years. Graham Hancock, before he started sucking down too much ayahuasca and started seeing serpents and such. All right, this is a terrible picture. Actually, here we go. This is what I wanted. The Great Pyramids, they're hieroglyphics, which is a writing that didn't make any sense. It's like they're writing in 4 dimensions. No pun intended. I think AI data centers, here it is. I think these were data centers. And this entire area is a complete desert, which means it's been depleted of everything that allows life to live. The ground is sand dry. There's no trees. There's no nothing. There's just these monoliths that are still standing. It didn't used to be. Remember, I used to talk about Dr. Robert Schoch from Boston, Massachusetts, who literally went out there and proved that the erosion on the pyramids was was from rain. It used to be very, very, very livable out there until the pyramids showed up.
When you look at the Sphinx as a geologist with a geological eye, this was not weathered by wind and sand. This was not desert erosion and weathering that I saw on the Sphinx, the body of the Sphinx, which is very difficult to tell because it's been heavily repaired and reworked, but particularly on the walls of what are known as the Sphinx enclosure. The Sphinx enclosure is important because it preserves a lot of the details. When they carved the Sphinx, it's all solid bedrock. Only the head initially was above the ground surface. They carved down into the rock to free up the body. And it's that core body and the walls of the enclosure, more or less the quarry around it, if you want to use that term, that show these ancient weathering, precipitation, erosional features that are incompatible with the last 5,000 years of climatic history on the eastern edge of the Sahara.
You see what I'm saying? The entire story makes no sense. They never tell us what it is that they actually did. None of us know what the hieroglyphics even say. But the writing, the hieroglyphics themselves, I mean, it's beyond pictures and handwriting. It's like they wrote a dream. Does that make any sense? And these guys know how to interpret it. We don't. And I'm guaranteeing that's where they figured out how to make things like CERN and things like ITER, or the sun that China made. Tokamak, ITER, look it up. I talked about it a lot, but you can't find any information on it, which is frightening on its own. But it's not just Kentucky. AI data centers need a redonkulous amount of water, so they're putting them in all sorts of states. I didn't read that whole thing. I think they did try to put one in Kentucky and in Missouri, if memory serves. And the people actually figured it out. And they kicked back on that. So stand by. I'm going too long right now. I hate this platform, but it's all I got. I pay to use StreamYard just so I can stream on YouTube. But all right, stand by. Here we go. Let me jump into the comments real quick. Exactly. Yeah, I don't know about that at all. I don't know what that means. Yes, the one is in Memphis. All right, how about that? We'll go right to that. The one in Memphis.
A neighborhood in Memphis, Tennessee.
Let's discuss.
A neighborhood in Memphis, Tennessee is accusing Elon Musk of polluting its air. Here's what we know. Elon Musk's artificial intelligence company xAI moved into an abandoned factory last summer. Musk refers to the facility as Colossus. According to the company's website, they also plan to open another facility in the region. According to Musk, Colossus is the most powerful AI training system in the world. It's part of an initiative called the Digital Delta, which aims to make Memphis the nation's leading high-tech manufacturing hub. Musk's company, xAI, is working to develop a chatbot called Grok, which has been advertised as an anti-woke version of OpenAI's ChatGPT. However, residents of Boxtown, a nearby majority Black, economically disadvantaged neighborhood, have voiced concerns about the company's presence. To function, xAI requires an immense amount of power. As a result, the company installed dozens of gas-powered turbines which produce toxic emissions. According to the Southern Environmental Law Center, the turbines at the xAI facility pump out smog-forming pollution, nitrogen oxides or NOx, and harmful chemicals like formaldehyde. The company currently does not hold any air permits. There is a loophole in Tennessee law that allows temporary turbines, those operating for less than a year, to run without a permit. So far, xAI has applied for permits to run 15 turbines for the next 5 years, but none have been approved yet. The region is already home to 17 other known polluters, including an oil refinery, a steel plant, and a gas-fired power plant. This controversy comes as the Trump administration continues to roll back regulations on air pollution protections. The administration has rolled back key climate policies, including an executive order to withdraw the U.S. from the Paris Agreement, set to take effect in 2026. They have also weakened rules meant to reduce emissions from vehicles and power plants. Under President Trump, the Environmental Protection Agency has also made efforts to deregulate air quality protections. What are your thoughts on the environment?
So basically, Trump is doing exactly what any other billionaire would do, that somehow people thought they could relate to him, that Trump was their boy, Trump was rolling with them. They're destroying America. They've already extracted all the wealth, all the resources, everything they can. They're cutting down all the trees. Our power grid is an absolute mess. The highways are an absolute mess. They destroyed everything, and they're going to leave us as a third world country or a living hell or Babylon. I can't prove that, but it's insane. It's absolutely insane. And I find this to be a strange story. This could just be more of the same, but America's digital demand threatens Black communities with more pollution. Well, they're talking about areas that they've completely decimated, because Tennessee, all the states used to be beautiful. Used to travel the country when I was a kid, and it was beautiful. You know what I mean? It's completely destroyed now, and now they're bringing in the coup d'etat, because these things suck up all the electricity. They suck up all the water. Residents don't have, I mean, it's affecting people at their faucets, just like fracking did. You see what I'm saying? And now these things are not only sucking up resources you need to stay alive, they're actually pumping all sorts of fun things into the atmosphere that will kill you. So it just doesn't stop. It's multifaceted. It's never ending. It's insane. And nobody seems to be alarmed. Here's one thing. I meet a lot of people, and it's never a topic. It's never a topic anyplace. Everybody's always talking about some stupid sporting event or television show or beef or school shooting. You know, it's amazing, man. It's completely amazing to me, but here we are. Here we are. Yeah, researchers warn, everybody's writing about this, and nobody in any power is doing anything about it, because it'll create jobs. They're remote jobs. They are not for you and I, ever, at all, period. Look at this. I'm running out of, which one is this? Let me stand by. Oh, well, here you go, Kentucky.
I'm in St. Charles, Missouri, where a massive data center project is being proposed on a 440-acre piece of farmland. Residents here are outraged about what this could mean for their water, their electricity rates. And the biggest thing is it's been kept a secret because of a non-disclosure agreement. These are residents who live within just a few feet. Some of them who live right on the edge here got this letter from the city letting them know that a data center could be built right across the street.
We're over 500 feet away from the nearest residence. Everybody always wants larger buffers, but it's a significant buffer at this time.
Do you think a data center here could make the water quality issues worse?
Oh, God.
You think you should be able to vote on this?
Oh, yes.
But can you vote on it?
No. No. It's up to our councilman.
And what are you hearing from them?
No.
There's an NDA in place. Okay, so it's hush hush.
Which one of you lives the closest to the proposed site?
We do.
Ours is one with the blue truck is at.
Wow, so you are the closest. Did you have any idea that this was coming?
No.
The craziest thing about all of these things is when they propose to do a data center, they go right. I just heard my own accent right there. Data center. Data center. Am I saying that right? Data center. There you go. It could disrupt the Missouri community. It's shrouded in secrecy. Missouri is one of the most beautiful states, as is Kentucky, and they're going to destroy them. They are destroying them. If they're not doing it with directed energy, they're doing it with floods. If they're not doing it with floods, they're going to do it with the New Madrid. They did not spend a year doing drill after drill with the United States Army Corps of Engineers training to save lives, because they don't care about lives. They ain't about saving lives, man. They're out there getting ready to set this thing off one way or the other. So it's just amazing to me, and people don't seem to care. I hate to keep saying that, but I mean, I can't help but notice it. I got to say, one thing I got over a lot of folks is I meet a lot of people and I go to a lot of places. It's crazy, man. It's completely crazy. In no state, they're building these. Why do we need data centers in every single state that are insanely massive? Insanely massive. You know what I mean? It just doesn't seem to be stopping.
Well, a fast-growing tech industry is making its way to Georgia and is showing up in huge ways. It's running our devices, helping us get around, and even making our work and appointments a lot easier. But what price are we paying for all this progress?
11 Alive News investigates. 𝗦𝗵𝗿𝗀𝗱 reveals the growing concerns about the strain data centers may put on our local water supplies.
It's making our lives so much easier. How? How is it making our lives easier? Seriously. I mean, leave it in the comments right now. I'm looking. How has this made life easier? If I was a complete nutter scumbag sellout, I would sit here and use AI to run all 8 of my YouTube channels, and I would be rolling in it. A couple of words, here's an idea, here's a few pictures, AI, make me a video, and it would. I don't even use AI to search. I refuse. If you mess with AI, you are talking to a demon. Period, man. Period. I don't know how many people have actually proven this. You know what I'm saying? There's no way in the world they're putting this in every single state. And I mean, it's all of a sudden, boom, all you're hearing about is data centers. Data centers. You know what I'm saying? I didn't realize when they were talking about building these things, I knew they were going to be bad, but I didn't realize that they were going to be eating. I didn't know people were going to have to pay for the electric. A company just built a new company where they're going to make billions, but you have to pay all their costs. What? You know what I mean? Where is the outrage, man? It's unbelievable. And they're literally, I mean, I can sit here all day and show you mainstream saying, yeah, this ain't good. This ain't good. But at least you can keep your appointments now. Or you can make a wacky AI picture, or your child can get sexually assaulted via the internet from an AI bot, which is a huge thing. It's a huge thing. It's insanity, man. But that's where we're at. So there, as they say. And then here's the last thing. This scumbag that was in the White House with Jake Paul and all these other YouTube influencers, which blows me away. I can't believe that people literally get strung out on clout. You know, remember when I explained to you why I will not get my front tooth fixed? You can do it easy. You can do it easy. It's cheaper than a set of tires. You know what I mean? Trucks got new tires all the time. Me? I'll be fine. You never, ever want to believe the hype. Read the comments. Rich, you're the smartest. Replace my name with anybody's name because it happens to everybody. You're the smartest person because I didn't know about that link you showed. You're the smartest. And you start thinking, he's right. I am the smartest person, you know? I guess that's clout. I didn't know that was even a thing, but apparently it is. And it is addictive. People are killing each other over it. It's insanity. But again, yeah, I don't know what alien intelligence. I don't know what an alien is. Demons, demonic. Yeah, aliens. There's no such thing as aliens. The government's been telling you about aliens, right? That's how you know they're not real. That's a pretty easy one. But listen to this dude, man. This is a trip.
I'm standing here outside a Meta data center. Investors have been pouring money into AI infrastructure projects. This one has cost about $700 million. Overall, it's tough to give an exact amount on the industry's investment because all of this money is private. But everyone more or less guesses it's at about $200 billion.
So the AI industry has actually been, in some ways, in real financial trouble.
There is no clear path to profitability.
The original idea was that AI was going to be sold to businesses, but that has failed to materialize for all of the reasons that AI just isn't working all that well in the first place.
In February, a hedge fund did some back-envelope math. If you strip out investments in data centers and training, how much money was actually spent on buying actual AI products and services? About $16 billion, maybe less. To actually turn a reasonable profit, they need to raise that number to about $200 billion. Exact estimates vary, but the general thesis has been backed by major venture capitalists and investment banks. And there's one thing that potentially complicates business cases for these systems: our existing laws.
If there are any road bumps into how they can do that, then selling enterprise AI software suddenly becomes less appealing, both to them and to the clients.
These road bumps are society's foundations. Fair credit reporting violations, when AI denies loans without proper disclosures. Fraud statutes, when AI systems hallucinate financial results and deceive investors. Equal employment violations, when you weed out candidates from women's colleges.
Okay, I left a link for that. That's a channel called more perfect union. And these guys do a good job. They're not completely awake, but they do understand that this complete thing is FUBAR. Why couldn't they put radiators in them like cars? Then they wouldn't use so much water, because they want to. They want to use the water. Why are they building AIs in the middle of the desert when these things' main concern is heat? So you're going to put them in the hottest places humanly possible that already have unbelievable issues with droughts, and then these things take priority over humans. It's just torture, basically. It's torture. They're riding us over the falls in a barrel in slow motion. I mean, I don't know how else to possibly say it. You know what I mean? But that's why. Because there's a million ways they could do it where it would be easier and better. But they're not doing it. They're doing it so it creates as much damage to humans as humanly possible, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? No, maybe, but they aren't. They are what they are. They're building the beast system, and apparently that's what this looks like. In order to rival God, in order to rival the power that God Almighty has, think about this. In the beginning, there was the Word, okay? God's Word. When I talk, listen to all the blah, 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 blah. Yeah, maybe some of it hits you right. Maybe some of it doesn't hit you right. It is what it is. Back in the day, people used to use their words very carefully because words meant everything. People didn't lie. People didn't say bad things to other people. People didn't insult people. Now, that's how you make a song. I mean, that's how you make a hit song and become a millionaire. Or, I'm sorry, billionaire, whatever. God's word was so powerful that he spoke everything that's left, because creation is hurting right now. But everything that God spoke into existence from one word is still reverberating. His word was so powerful, the vibrations from it are still vibrating or reverberating right now, causing me, all the cells in my body, all the blood in my heart, everything, including everybody, to keep rolling. I mean, that's insane, but that is serious juice, serious power. No pun intended. But what does this thing need? It needs power. It needs to be absolutely everywhere so that you can have an AI assistant. Isn't that great? And then let's not forget, every single solitary one of these people that is involved in building these data centers and becoming insanely rich and powerful off them all have multiple videos saying AI will kill us. AI will kill humanity. It has to. So why are we building it? Because, oh, cool. Epstein list. Epstein list has been up for over a decade, but let's not worry about that. How could the FBI know that? It's not like the FBI would know that. I mean, it's just a complete and absolute cluster F. They're never going to release it. No one's ever going to get in trouble for it. These people rape children. That's what they do. They get power from it. You know what I mean? These are just the worst human beings ever. And that's how you make it in this world. If you want to be rich and powerful, you have to be the worst there is. And that's just all there is to it. That's just all there is to it, man. If I have $100, I'll give somebody that needs it 200. How? Exactly. But I'll never be a millionaire. You know what I mean? But that's what these people do. Period, period, period. I spent my entire life, it's been 15 years, yelling at a laptop, trying to get people to wake up. And I really, 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 really thought it would help. And here we are. We're going over the barrel. We're going over the falls the hard way. We're going over the falls in a barrel without the barrel. So we're just falling. But these guys are trying to fight God. So they have to suck up every single thing that gives a human person life to use. Why do you think Bill Gates is cutting down all the trees and making them into little blocks and putting them where? I don't know. Why do these data centers need to be absolutely everywhere all of a sudden? I don't know. But I got a funny feeling it's to try to duplicate God. They can't do it. They just can't do it. God's not an idiot. He didn't give them everything they need to completely 100% go head to head with him. He just wouldn't. I wouldn't. You wouldn't. No one should. But I guess on that, I will digress. All right, one more. This sucks.
That is the Chief Technology Officer of Meta. He is Palantir's CTO, that is ChatGPT's Chief Product Officer, and he has worked at OpenAI and Palantir both. Why are they all in military camouflage? That's because on June 27th, all four of them were commissioned into the US Army. The US Army has a nerd squad, and it is at the center of one of the darkest chapters of world history. The future does move fast, and while militaries around the world have a history of civilian contractors, this is a commissioning meaning. They are all now lieutenant colonels of the US Army. When J.R.R. Tolkien wrote about the Palantir in his legendary Lord of the Rings, he probably had no idea what the word itself would be used for in the near future. Francesca Albanese, a UN special rapporteur investigating allegations of genocide in Gaza, has named and blamed Palantir, among other companies. Her report to the United Nations Human Rights Commission has flagged the lucrative business of war in Gaza. Why?
So this is something that makes everything make more sense now. Why is the entire world allowing Israel to completely decimate an entire population of people? I mean, this is a genocide. It's a Holocaust. They're doing it because it's training Palantir. And then Palantir is also being used by our police forces so they can better F with us. Do you see what I'm saying? When this thing breaks off, Palantir is going to actually be the eyes that AI will actually be able to locate us from what we look like from the very top of our heads. They're not trying to take away our guns. They don't need to. They got weapons that if you can't figure out how to pick up your weapon and fire it, what good's your weapon? You know what I mean? Period. What good is your weapon? So many times I do things and I'll use my left hand, or I won't use my hands at all in really weird situations, or things where I can't, like, I don't know. I don't even know how else to explain it. I don't know how to explain it. True story. But yeah, Palantir is literally using AI to just kill random people based on what the AI says already. It's already up and running. So they're doing it on a control. I shouldn't say controlled, but Palestinians have been in a big, big barrel, and Israel's been shooting them fish for years. And now they're doing it on a scale like we've never seen before. And then they're also using it in the US already. And Palantir has now got one of their boys in the World Economic Forum, and you got BlackRock, Palantir, same thing. It's two faces, same coin, basically. Yeah, I totally agree. Completely 100%. Believe me, I wish rapture would happen, but endure to the end. Yeah. Something is booming outside nonstop. Hopefully it's just a Spanish fellow in his Hyundai with his 808s kicking. At any rate, Richie from Boston. You don't have to like, you don't have to share, you don't have to subscribe, because it don't really make never mind. At any rate, guys, it's been, how long has it been? Hour and a half. I'm out.